Alright, what's going on, people? This is Michael521 here, as always. And now, as all of you probably know, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 is not too long in the waiting. Well, as most people can be concerned. We've seen reveals for Modern Warfare 3 and everyone's all very excited about it. And it's just been this way with all Call of Duties, because everyone gets very excited about the next Call of Duty. It was this way from Call of Duty World at War to Modern Warfare 2. Of course, I can't really talk about this being always the same, because I didn't join the Call of Duty scene until about World at War, and I didn't even join the YouTube Call of Duty scene until Modern Warfare 2 was at its tail end. So, still, it's always been the same so far. Call of Duty, from World at War to Modern Warfare 2, there wasn't that many things people complained about, except Juggernaut. People hated Juggernaut with a passion, and they didn't want the overpowered MP40 in there. I don't think the MP40 was personally overpowered, but still, that's what people thought, so thus the MP40 must be overpowered, but still. It's always the same. People say what they want from the next Call of Duty, what they think will happen from the next Call of Duty, and then just spout bullshit that they want to happen from Call of Duty and parade it around as fact. 3 different types of things happen from 3 different types of people. But they're never perfect. Everyone seems to look... I mean, it was this way from Modern Warfare 2 to Black Ops, because Modern Warfare 2 was... well, it turned to shit in the later months. People hated its guts. Every gun was supposedly overpowered. Everyone was hating on it, and everyone looked to Black Ops as though it would be the fucking messiah, as though it would rectify all the problems that Modern Warfare 2 had, and completely eliminate the bullshit from Call of Duty series. Then Black Ops came out. And then there was the ghost people that used their ghost powers to hide from the radar swarm that was inevitably to come. Then there was the second chance noobs who saw that they could be revived if they got a pro version of it, and could just take their time, sit on their back, pick off a few people with a pistol by doing a bullshit drop shot. And the AK-74U and the FAMAS, and people got irritated very quickly, because whilst Treyarch had done their very best to counter the problems they'd seen in Modern Warfare 2, for one thing, sleight of hand they were trying to eliminate quickscoping. God knows why, but still people might have been complaining about quickscoping. So, they took sleight of hand away from Sleight of Hand Pro to not affect sniper rifles. Riper rifles didn't have Sleight of Hand Pro anymore, so they couldn't scope in and quickscope with the same efficiency they could in Modern Warfare 2. That's one problem they solved. I don't know why it was a problem in the first place, but still. Stopping power was a big problem in the end tail of things. I'll talk about Stopping Power Pro against Ghost Pro later, don't worry. But still, Stopping Power was removed. Juggernaut stayed removed. Scavenger doesn't replenish grenade launchers or equipment. Equipment is now a separate section so that people can't just spam claymores, etc, etc. They did their very best to get rid of all the bullshit that we thought in Modern Warfare 2, especially One Man Army. They made sure to get rid of that. But then there was inevitably going to be the OP perks in Call of Duty Black Ops and in Modern Warfare 2. It was in the tail end of Modern Warfare 2 that Stopping Power turned to become an OP perk for some reason or another. I don't see why, but still, it became an OP perk. Then there was Scavenger, One Man Army, Danger Close. Everything became... well, everything about Modern Warfare 2 was supposedly overpowered. So, now then Black Ops came out, and there was Ghost, and there was Second Chance, there was the 74U, and this was FAMAS, and everything, and then there were those things that were overpowered. And then, classically, in the tail end of Black Ops' lifespan, people started looking for new games. There was Homefront, there was a few other games spattered around, and people all looked to them as though they were the fucking messiahs, as though they would kill Call of Duty outright and win the fight and they would be perfect in every way. They would take the problems that Call of Duty couldn't take, and they would rectify them for the people. They didn't. Strange that, isn't it? It's because and then inevitably after those games were snuffed out because they weren't perfect. They weren't what people wanted. They weren't what people expected. They were expecting a shining example to crush COD. What they got was something that was designed to try and beat COD, but couldn't because inevitably Call of Duty did everything the way we want it to go. Of course, teeter-totter is how things happen in Call of Duty, but it still does everything the way we want it to happen, more or less. And inevitably, people went back to Call of Duty. It's always the same. Nobody ever decides, yeah, Homefront has its flaws, but I like Homefront because it is a good game. People just look to Homefront and other games of that variety because they were different from Call of Duty. They were not Call of Duty. And since Call of Duty was irritating them so much, clearly that was the cure. Unfortunately, it did more or less what the first Call of Duties did, and fell on their faces. They fell on their faces, and nothing much happened from there. And so it leads me to the conclusion that no Call of Duty is going to be perfect. I mean, look at it like this. Every Call of Duty so far has had overpowered guns, overpowered perks, supposedly. I'm not saying that I believe that. I believe everyone's just analysed that there are good weapons and good perks to use, and they've made use of their usefulness, per se. The one thing that really gets me though is is that Ghosts and some, you know, in Modern Warfare 2 there was Cold-Blooded and Stop Power. They were on the same tier of perk. And there were Stop Power people and there were Cold-Blooded people. Now you want to know the reason Cold-Blooded people didn't swarm the place in Modern Warfare 2, when they had the chance with the supposedly overpowered guns and the very frivolous amount of cover that was supplied in Modern Warfare 2. You want to know why? Because stopping power. If a cold-blooded person got in a fight with a stopping power person, the stopping power person would win. Because the cold-blooded person would then reveal his position by starting fire, reveal his position by starting fire anyway, then giving the stopping power person at least that 0.2 of a second to react, spin round, gun them down with their 2 to 3 bullet kill, and move on. Unless the cold-blooded person got a headshot, which is highly unlikely but plausible thereof, they would not win the gunfight. Any gunfights, because more or less everyone was using stopping power, because they wanted to win their gunfights. So, I'm just going to see what Modern Warfare 3 brings to the table. I really don't care if they're not the greatest Call of Duty ever, just that they bring some new crap to the table. Because Modern Warfare 2's exhausted quite a few things. Black Ops has brought some new things to the table, such as the COD point system and the contracts, so they can buy stuff almost right from the get-go. I'm just not going to say what I want from Modern Warfare 3. I would like to see what they bring to the table, as opposed to what I want them to bring to the table. Because personally, I don't want grenade launchers. I don't want UAVs to be stopped by ghost people. I don't want campers. I want campers to be killed if they stay in a spot for too long, etc, etc. The list could go on. The fact is, I just don't really care anymore what happens with Modern Warfare 3. Just that it brings some new shit to the table, and that it's all fresh, and everyone has a good time on it. And I'd just like to bring to the whole thing, you know those map packs that Call of Duty brings out every so often? Those ones, you know, First Strike, Escalation and all that? I've actually started to think what's happening with those. I think the map packs are actually developed while the initial Call of Duty is developed as an extension strategy right from the get-go. So that's why Black Ops brought out First Strike so early in the lifespan, because they had First Strike ready and available to be put out, rather than just waiting a while, because usually map packs would take a while to develop. They have to develop the maps, they have to develop the interactivity in Black Ops' case, they have to develop the zombies maps as well. and there are lots of things to develop there. So here's my thought. They develop the map packs whilst they're they develop the first map pack whilst they're developing the Call of Duty, and then whilst that map pack's doing its work, they develop the next map packs. Have fun with those thoughts, guys, and I will talk to you all later. Have fun.